Hello, everyone. My name is Wilka Toppins, and I'm a U.S. corporate and immigration lawyer. And I am the president and founder of Toppins Law Firm, a law firm based in Houston, Texas. And I'm here with my good friend, Manuel Ortiz, with First Pathway Partners. Hello, Manuel.
Hi, how are you? My name is Manuel Ortiz. I'm Vice President of Global Business Development for First Pathway Partners. I'm also located in Houston. Our firm is a global firm. We have a team located all throughout Asia, Latin America, and also in Africa.
And what are we? EB-5 people.
That's right.
So we live, breathe EB-5 Visa. For those of you that have not seen or heard our previous segments, we have several segments. You should go back and look at them. We are EB-5 people. That means that I'm an EB-5 lawyer, immigration lawyer, and you're an EB-5 regional center. You work for an EB-5 regional center. So we're going to get a little bit deep into what this means. But essentially, EB-5, for those that haven't heard about it, or if you heard, you didn't hear the right thing, EB-5 is a way to obtain and immigrate to the United States a permanent green card for you, your spouse, and your children under 21 years of age that are unmarried. It is, in my humble opinion, the most direct way to a green card and eventual U.S. citizenship. It does require a sizable investment. I have to admit, it's not $3 pesos or $3. It is a sizable investment, but it is well worth it. I personally advise a lot of clients on other immigration pathways, such as employment visas, such as other types of pathways that I don't have time to discuss right now. But in my humble opinion, right now, the EB-5 visa, if you have the resources to make the investment, is the best option for you. And we're going to talk about those options right now. But before I go into the options, Manuel, tell us a little bit about First Pathway Partners for those that have not seen the other videos. You should. Tell us a little bit about First Pathway Partners and why you're talking about and why you love EB-5.
First Pathway Partners was founded in 2008 by Robert Kraft, and we have a 100% track record in investors obtaining their permanent green card. We've conducted business throughout the United States and have over $1 billion in economic development. I think for me, EB-5 is very important. I've been involved in it since about 2013, but we migrated here when I was 3 years old. My grandparents on my grandfather's side also came here from Spain in the 1920s. And the only reason that my grandfather even came was because he flipped a coin with his brother to see who would get the chance to come. 50-50 chance, he won. And then if he wouldn't have won that 50% chance, I might not even be here.
Right? I wouldn't be talking to you.
Exactly. And I think that's the beauty of EB-5 is that when you invest with EB-5 companies that have track record, again, for us, 100% track record in investor obtaining a permanent green card, you have a better chance of what my grandfather did at the 50%.
That's right. So those are interesting numbers. So I heard 100% track record. Mm-hmm. I heard billions of dollars in investment. Those are the big numbers. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we work with investors throughout the world. I think that one of the things that really separates us is that we look at the EB-5 decision as a family decision, as something that is intimate, right? It's not just about obtaining a return, because EB-5 is not about obtaining a return. The value in EB-5 is actually obtaining the green card. And because it's a family decision, obtaining the green card is a family decision, for us, we really want investors to be able to achieve the American dream, whether it's for the whole family or whether it's for their kids to come study in the US or have a different future. Because these types of decisions, like in my example, can change the trajectory of a family for generations.
Yeah, and I will share, that's so true. I will share this. I helped a family, we started their EB-5 journey in 2012. Gosh, that's a long time. Anyway, 2012. And when I started their journey, I think they had 3 children. Their children were starting high school. And, I didn't think much of it, frankly, but they were able to immigrate, and their investment through EB-5, they got approved. And they moved and, of course, went about their lives. And lo and behold, recently I came across them, and their oldest daughter was accepted to medical school in the US, becoming a doctor. And they have 2 other sons, and they're both engineers. So they're extremely happy. Both parents work, are very productive, found really their American dream. So I was so pleased to have been a little cog maybe in their wheel of life, where I was able to accelerate them bettering their lives and giving their children more opportunities. Because once you get a green card, you have to understand it's almost like a step away from a citizenship. You really have every opportunity and every door open to you to participate in the U.S. Fabric, in our social fabric, in the U.S. economy, credit system. You can live anywhere you want. You can work anywhere you want. You can pursue education. You qualify for grants and financial aid. You qualify for loans, credit. There's so much benefits to becoming a U.S. resident. And you have the opportunity, if you choose, to become a U.S. citizen, which I'm pleased to say as a proud American, that we're the #1 passport in the world, the #1 passport. We can travel to more countries in the world without a visa than any other country out there. I may be wrong on that. Somebody may call me on this, but I can say I'm on the top 2 or 3. So it is a very desirable passport that many around the world aspire to obtain. So this is your chance. I know it is a sizable investment. I don't make light of it. It's $800,000. There might be, of course, additional costs associated with it. We can talk about those details later. But in my opinion, it's making an investment in your family, in your well-being, in your future. I have clients that have done EB-5, Manuel, for their children.
Right. And I think that's just a beautiful thing, because you do open up that road for your family. And I've spoken with many investors. Again, I think I've worked with over 1,000 individual investors, literally.
Wait, 1,000?
In my history. And it's been great. But I've also seen stories where somebody maybe did not decide to do EB-5. And then that changes the trajectory of the family. And I'm reminded of somebody that I talked to recently that they were looking at EB-5 back in, I think, 2018, 2019. And they decided not to do it. Back then, the investment amount was $500,000. So now it's $800,000. So that changed. Well, his son was actually studying and working at the same time at an internship. And
in the U.S.?
In the U.S.
Okay.
And he got to his senior year, and they were working at a JP Morgan. They said, hey, I want to stay here and work. And they said, well, we don't do sponsorships. And they decided not to do EB-5. And so what ended up happening was the son graduated from university, did very well, right? So you've got to think about all the work that you do for university to want to work here.
And the investment they made in the education.
Right. And so then he ended up having to go back to his country and ended up applying for a job, ended up in Nigeria, I believe, working in oil and gas. Wasn't a fit for him, decided to go back, and now he's trying to get a Spanish passport to go over there. So it changed his life completely.
Yes.
And the father was telling me that he completely regrets the decision not to do that, because things can change. And you'll see in the future, the investment amount wasn't adjusted from 1990 to right to 2022. They're going to continue to adjust that upward. And processing times, demand has been really high since 2022, and that's only going to continue, we project, for that to happen, right? So processing times may get longer. Right now, they're really fast. Investment amount's going to get high. So if you can take the decision to do EB-5, do it now.
That's correct. So some of the benefits, like I said, education, access to an educational system. U.S. educational system continues to be a top educational system.
But why does that happen? Because when you graduate from university,
that's right,
for a student, what happens? Do you H-1B, I guess is the option?
Well, H-1B, but it's a lottery, and good luck with that. And even then, it takes another year for you to enter. You can do an EB-3. EB-3 is very popular in Asia. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, EB-3 is at a 3-year wait time for most of the world, 3 to 4 year wait time after you get approved. So everything has been delayed due to demand. Too many people in line, right? There are maybe other visas like national interest waiver, which is very much in vogue. Oh, it's fancy, whatever. No, it's now retrogress 2 years. So we're looking at people, even though they go through the process, they're waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. For Indian nationals, the H-1B is up to 14 years. It really is very, very difficult to immigrate through one of those pathways. I do it all the time, but EB-5 is current for most categories and most countries. And you and I have seen, right, increased processing times, faster processing times than we've seen before after the passage of the new EB-5 law in 2022, the Reform and Integrity Act, which we commonly call it the RIA, R-I-A of 2022, when you hear that it's the new law. So tell me why it's good, that new law.
So I would say just one thing, just to go back really quick to the student aspect of it, because there are benefits as a U.S. resident. If you're a university student and you have EB-5, you pay U.S. resident tuition. So I think that's a
Wow.
really big benefit.
Big. It's like a third of the cost for y'all.
And then when you graduate university, you can also work with wherever you want without depending on the H-1B lottery. And it doesn't even have to be on the category that you actually went to school for, because for the H-1B, you're very limited
That's
in
right.
where you can actually work.
That's correct.
EB-5 opens up that road for you. So there are
That's
tuition benefits, and then it opens up the road for you to be able to work
So you're
wherever you
making an
want. later.
investment, but you're going to save money in tuition. You're going to give your son or daughter the freedom to pursue their dream however they wish to pursue it. And the investment is not a donation. It is not a gift. Like many countries have a golden visa, which is actually premised on a donation. So this is an investment, correct? So
Right.
how does that work?
So the investment is created through a fund where we're either loaning funds to a developer, or maybe we're the developer, or we could also be equity. So EB5, the impact of it is that can be any part of what people call the capital stack. So again, going back to the example of the hotel, if you have a $20 million hotel, we can make a loan for $15 million to you. You complete the $5 million to make the $20 million hotel, right? And then it costs $20 million to build, and the expectation is that in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, the value of that is no longer going to be 20 million, but 30, 40, 50 million, and then you sell it and you pay back that $15 million to us.
So the
That's the
expectation,
exit.
like in the case of a loan, for example, the expectation is that the EB5 money gets pooled into this fund. There's a loan made, whatever the terms, depends on the project, right?
Right,
And then that loan gets repaid.
right.
The expectation is the loan will get repaid. And then at that point, the investors will receive their investment back with perhaps some kind of interest earning or some earning or return on their investment. Or if they're an equity partner, they're going to get some kind of return on their investment, correct? But a lot of people tell me, but Wilka, it is risky. There is a risk component. Can we talk to the audience a little bit about the risk component?
Sure, and the way that the US government created the EB5 program is that the investment needs to be at risk. So we can't really guarantee that investors are going to get their money back, but that doesn't mean that we can't structure the investment in a conservative way.
Or like the loan could be
Right.
guaranteed, correct?
So in the example of the loan that I gave, we're the only bank that's involved because we loaned you the $15 million. And let's say that we get to year 4, the loan isn't repaid. We could call a default on that loan,
Right.
take over the asset and sell it. So let's say, for example, that
Like a mortgage.
the project costs 20 million, and let's
Okay.
say that it doesn't cost 30, it doesn't appraise to 40 or 50 million later. Maybe it only appraises to 30 million. The reality of it is we can sell it for 25 million and still get the 15 million back that we want for investors. That's how you protect investors.
So the important thing is, even though the law requires the investment not be guaranteed at the investment level, the way that it's structured, you need to pay attention, get advice, talk, understand. The way the thing is structured, the legal stuff, the legal paperwork, has protections in it that will help you feel comfortable with your investment, right?
That's
so you need to
correct.
be able to ask those questions. But this is like anything, it's an investment that creates jobs. The immigration portion, lawful origin of funds, we both merge, we go. At some point, you'll get approved, hopefully. At some point, you'll remove your condition. And at some point, you'll make that a permanent green card, eventual citizenship. And at some point, the investment will be returned to you, assuming that everything goes as projected, correct?
Correct.
All right. So with that, we're going to close and watch our other segments. We go a little deeper into other areas. So we're so glad that you were here with us. And if you need to speak to us, you have our info right here, down here. See
Thank you
soon.
very much.